Now let us continue in our exploration of Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 17. But you, dress yourself for work, arise and say to them everything that I command you. Do not be dismayed by them, lest I dismay you before them. And we've looked a little about how and whom and what to fear. Now, I'm dropping down actually into the ESV notes, so I want you to know that because we don't want to be clever. But here, Jeremiah is given directives. He must dress for work. Take up your robe. Dressed for work. Sometimes in Christian faith, work gets a bad press. It's considered, well, surely everything is of grace. Of course it is. But to understand the grace of God, to be motivated out of the grace of God, will mean that we'll put our heart and soul into the gospel. It won't be a lack of effort. It will actually end up being more effortful. And you say, isn't grace and effort opposed? No, it never was. Paul would say to us, work out your salvation with fear and with trembling. No, grace is not opposed to effort. It's opposed to earning. Can't earn God's love. Can't get more of God's love. Can't get less of God's love. That's tremendous news if you hear it right. Dress yourself for work. Arise. In other words, be ready for work. The prophetic is always ready, ready to speak when God calls, ready to be silent when he hasn't called, but as it were, us on the front foot. One of the sins that is called out in the New Testament is laziness, or somebody else will do it. In fact, the height of laziness is exposed in the Thessalonian church. There it comes down to, you don't work, you don't eat. Now I recognise again that has a particular context and we would need to be careful. But the prophetic word is dress yourself for work, arise, be ready. And I do believe that these are days when God is speaking, if we will listen and if we will know where to go to hear his word. And we're reading it and we're listening for it. Goes further, say to them everything I command you. It's quite good fun occasionally going to a cafeteria restaurant where kind of everything is on display. Some of you will have done that at a big breakfast in a hotel. You can have absolutely everything, cooked breakfast, continental breakfast, whatever it is. It's all on display and you go around and you have a little bit of mix and match. That spirituality has entered the church. We like to pick and choose what we like. The prophets didn't get that luxury. Say to them everything that I have commanded you. Now that's not just some of the hard stuff. Sometimes it's some of the easy stuff. Let me bring it right down. To say to somebody, to bring them a word of encouragement, to even bring them a word of thanks, might completely make their day. But if God is calling us to be thankful, to speak words at that simple level as well as the harsh, let us do it. Don't be dismayed. Walk on. Let us call from Jeremiah that if we're going to stand in prophetic tradition, that we may be ready, that we may have a word to speak in due season, and that we may say it well to the glory of him who we represent, even Jesus Christ.